Hey everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to the Bones Collector, and today is November 25th, 2024, and I'm going to do my top 10 games of 2024 already. I'm just going to get it out of the way, get that video out there for you, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But I am going to ramble a little bit because I'm going to talk about some other things. First game I'm going to talk about had a reprint this year called Fortune and Glory from Flying Frog Productions, and I think this game came out a long time ago. I should have looked it up, but I never did get my hands on it, and I finally got a copy this year, and we played it and enjoyed it, and I wanted to tell you about it because I think there's some still available. I think you can still get this game, and I would advise it because it's a lot of fun. So this is an adventure style game where you're globe-trotting and you have various bosses that you can choose to battle in here. It's a dice chucker, Ameritrash style game that's very fun. We enjoyed it very much. I wanted to tell you about it because it is available this year, and I don't think the expansions are, though. We did manage to get the Rise of the Crimson Hand or something like that expansion, and there are other ones for this game, but man, are they scarce and hard to get. And of course, in this adventure style game, anything like this, more cards is more life and more variety, and that's the lifeblood of something like this. But it's a fantastic game from Flying Frog Productions. The only problem I have with the game is the amount of plastic that comes in it. It's not an overwhelming amount, but they certainly could have used cardboard, full color standees instead of some of that plastic that they have in here that is just polluting the planet. So I hope not only Flying Frog but other publishers get off that and start making things so that everything's biodegradable. But hey, great game, Fortune and Glory, the cliffhanger game. Wait, the next game I'm going to talk about has a reissue out, and that's Talisman. Talisman has had came out in 1987, I think. And then there's a second edition, then there was a fourth edition. Was there a third edition? I don't know. Must have been, but there was a fourth edition that had all kinds of expansion material. And then they came out with these IP versions of Talisman. And Lori and I had never played Talisman. I'd watched it played. I knew what it was. And it was just a roll and move game, and I just thought I had no interest in it. So we picked up Disney's Kingdom Hearts, and we played that game 4 or 5 times, and I realized, hey, you know what? I like this game. But I didn't really like the Kingdom Hearts thing because I didn't know what that was. So I couldn't get as immersed in that game as I wanted to. And I guess it was a video game, which I'm never going to get into. So I thought that Disney version was going to be of Disney characters and so forth. Which there was some, but not all. And I would have liked it a lot more, but I got rid of it because of that. And then we picked up this Harry Potter version, and we played this game, and I realized I really like it. But I also realized there's not going to be any expansion material ever issued for this. I doubt it. But we enjoy the Harry Potter universe. We enjoy this particular game. The board is gorgeous. The cards are a little larger than regular Talisman, and I'm talking about the 4th edition, and I really enjoy this game. I realize Talisman is an outstanding game, and it has a huge following. That's something that can't be ignored, and the new version for 2024 has some rules in it to shorten the game and some different things that they did to kind of make it a little more approachable to people and not so overwhelmingly random, I guess. But the randomness is kind of cool. But we love this Harry Potter version, and the new 2024 version already has an expansion out. So already you have some extra variability in there, some extra variety. So that's pretty cool. I wanted to talk about it because it is a new version that is out this year, 2024, if you are looking for a copy of Talisman. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about that came out last year, but I just got it this year, was the new Legends of Andor, Eternal Frost. You can play this. It's a standalone game, and you don't have to have the rest of Legends of Andor. But I would advise you to do so because this is a fantastic universe. It's my favorite fantasy adventure board game. You get 4 more legends in here. The legends are the stories on big tarot-sized cards that you read through, and you have a story in there with some rules and so forth. There's some challenges that you're going to have to take part in to play this game. Now it has a double-sided map in here that's gorgeous. All the art is done by the designer, Michael Menzel, and he's done a fabulous job with this game. It plays 2 to 4. It's a cooperative game, and it's a very high pressure game. So if you don't like high pressure, Legends of Andor probably wouldn't be for you, because there's a timer in this game and it's ticking the entire time you're playing. And so everything you're doing is vitally important. Every move you make, every place you go. And but I love that. Lori and I love it. It's hard to win. You're probably only going to win this game 4 or 5 times out of 10, but that's okay. That's what keeps you coming back and keeps you challenged. And so it's not impossible, obviously, but 50% win ratio is perfect for a cooperative board game. And this is a great addition to the series. Legends of Andor: Eternal Frost. What a fun game. There is an expansion that came out this year, 2024, for a cooperative game that Lori and I love called Keep the Heroes Out. And Keep the Heroes Out is kind of a role reversal game where the monsters are the good guys, and the monsters have their treasures hidden away in their caverns and in their dungeon, and the heroes are coming in trying to get those treasures. And we enjoyed that game. We got it. I didn't know what to think of that game. And we started playing it, and it is such a great challenge to try to avoid the cascading effect of this game in how it's going to attack you. So it has a decks of cards for every monster that you're going to play. And some of those monsters do different things, and there's different numbers of the monsters depending on which ones you have. But this particular expansion adds more scenarios. I think the first the base game came with 20 scenarios, but this one adds more scenarios that you can play. It has more monsters that you can play, and it also has some bosses now that are going to attack you in battle. And this game can be very difficult. It can be very difficult. You really have to pay attention to what you're doing in this game, and we love that kind of cooperative game style, game challenge, because there's no restrictions as far as the cooperative part of the game. You can talk as much as you want, table talk, plan your moves, to make sure that you're getting input from everybody as to what you're seeing visually and what's happening on the board, because in this game, Lori and I have said, oh, we've got this one, and then the very next thing that triggers for the heroes cascades and just wipes us out. And we didn't see something that we should have seen, and we didn't calculate accurately enough about what was going to happen, and we ended up losing the game. But wow, what a fun time. It plays 1 to 4, has a solo variant, and it has kind of a kiddie-looking art to it. But man, I mean, who cares? This game is a challenge, and it's so much fun. And Louis Brew, I guess is the designer's name, and he did a fabulous job with this game. We absolutely love it. This is the new 2024 expansion, Boss Battles, for Keep the Heroes Out. Now, this is a game, this is a runner-up to my top 10. I got my top 10 sitting over here by me, but I don't know how I feel about this game yet. I don't think that I've played this game enough. I've played it 3 times, lost 3 times. And what keeps me in question about it is I'm not even close to winning it. We have not been close. So that makes me wonder about the balance of the game. And so I need to play it some more, because I've read online that people are winning this game. And Lori and I are good cooperative board game players. So I don't know. Yeah, like I say, we haven't been close to winning. And that's kind of frustrating, because I want to get a feel for the game and I really can't. The publishing this game is fantastic. The story of the game is cute. The chickens are trying to make themselves a euphoric area in their world, and these predators are trying to stop them. And it has these cute little notebooks that you use for each character of the predators and the chickens themselves, and you level up by turning the page. So you have to accomplish something, gather something, and once you do that, you turn the page and you level up, and you get a little bit stronger. Not much, but a little bit. And there's, I think, 10 chickens and 10 predators in here. And I think there's an expansion for this game already. But everything in this game is published to the nines. I mean, you have eggs like wingspan eggs. You have a variety of food that you forage for. Yeah, I mean, everything in here is just fabulous.
Plastic bowls.
Yeah, little plastic bowls. It comes with these notebooks, and the board is gorgeous. The health counters are nice. I mean, everything in this game is tremendously published. The dice are custom. Cardstock is outstanding. Could use more cards, though. I I don't know. I mean, again, I just don't know how to feel about it because we haven't beaten it. So we need to get it back to the table and keep playing this thing until we figure it out. That doesn't mean it isn't a good game. Don't get me wrong. But we need to get a better feel for what the game is. But this is a 2024 title called Flock Together. If you like a tough challenge, this is going to deliver. It says 25 minutes per player, 1 to 5 players, so you could probably play it solo. But we'll see how things go. So far, I have to tell you, I like the game. There's a lot about it I like, but I still am out there in question land about how much I like it. And it's from Sea Cow Games. The designer is Matt Mundy. Yeah, and Andrew Bosley did the art, a great artist for board gaming. So yeah, wow, just a lot to like in here. Just I'm still I have a question about the playability of the game itself. So yeah, Flock Together. What's that?
The winnability.
The winnability. Yeah. Okay, let's get to the top 10. I mean, I'm gonna get going right now. The first number 10 game that I have is a game called Jekyll and Hyde versus Scotland Yard. And in this game, you're just trying to keep the balance of Jekyll and Hyde personalities while evading Scotland Yard. And this is a campaign-style game. So you have 10 chapters you're going to play through. Each chapter is different than the next, and it changes the rules of the game. And it's a trick-taking game, which makes it even more intriguing. It's played cooperatively because you are Jekyll and Hyde and you're versus Scotland Yard. What an outstandingly original idea. And I think the original game was Jekyll versus Hyde?
I think
maybe?
So. I think
something
so.
like that. And that was a competitive 1v1, but this is a cooperative adventure style game. I mean, it's just
in a tiny box.
Yeah, in a tiny box. Inexpensive fun, you guys. Probably nobody else will put this in their top 10 of the year because, you know, if you're being sponsored by a publisher, you're not going to put these little games where they don't make a bunch of money on in your video. But I am, because cheap games can be fun. And this is a wonderful design by Olivier Sipier Gionil, whatever that means. And Vince Dutray did the art on it, which is another attractive reason to buy this game. But wow, what a fantastically fun game, an original idea. That's Jekyll and Hyde versus Scotland Yard at my number 10 spot. At number 9, I have a game by a wonderful board game designer named Corey Kniezka with Josh Beppler, it says. So this is published by Unexpected Games. It is 1 to 4 players. Star Wars: The Mandalorian is a cooperative adventure board game. And in this game, you have a notebook that has some story pages in it. And once you get past the story pages, it has the actual map that you're going to play that particular mission on. And it has some secret material in here that's in envelopes that you'll open up as you proceed through the game. So I can't wait to see the expansion material. Lori and I liked playing this game. If you enjoyed the Mandalorian series on Disney, you will like this game. They did a nice job of making you feel like you were in the Mandalorian. It has a hand management action selection with cards that you're going to use to do the various functions in the game. This game does need expansion material. There's a lot in this box to play, but it is a fun game and it just needs more variety, I think, in the future. I would like to see some dice of some sort introduced into this game, but it is a fun game. I didn't know how much I would like it, but after we've played a couple of the missions, I told her, hey, this is pretty fun, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, that is the Mandalorian Adventures game. This is outstanding. If you like an adventure style game where you are going through different missions, you will like this game. If you like the Mandalorian, you'll like this game. They did a nice job with the IP, and I'm going to buy the expansions when they come out. So yeah. Oh, before I move on, I wanted to mention about the publishing of this game and commend Unexpected Games, because all the cards came wrapped in paper. Everything is in paper. Everything is biodegradable in this box. So I'm thankful for that. And I mean, it has like a egg carton type of thing in here that, you know, just makes you feel like they're paying attention to the, you know, the environment. And I like that about this game. And I wanted to give them a shout out for this. And I hope more publishers do this. Everything is standees, none of this plastic junk stuff that It just does not add anything to the game. These full color standees immerse you in the game, and I appreciate that. There's your notebook with your mission maps and your story that you're going to read. The envelopes that come with the game that are things that that you're going to open up as the game proceeds. Pretty cool stuff, and I like this game a lot. And just because I put it in the number 9 spot means nothing. I mean, I like the game a lot. I could put it anywhere. I just, give something a position. So number 9. And let's put the lid on right. But I wanted to talk about how they published this game. Once I opened it up, I was just fascinated and pleased that somebody paid attention to the fact that, there's 8 billion people on the planet and we need to watch our garbage. Okay, there you go. That's the Mandalorian Adventures. At number 8, we got Mlem from Reiner Knizia. Gosh, it's a push your luck dice chucker, and this game is so inexpensive. I think it's like $23 everywhere, and the publishing job is incredible. It's got a neoprene playmat in it. That's quite long. I mean, it's probably that long, and on it you're going to have your cats in space is the theme of this game, and you're going to push your luck trying to go up and get to the top of that playmat by rolling dice. These custom dice that they give you, nice big chunky custom dice, and they have afterburner effects on them. And when you get to a certain location on that mat, it'll give you dice values that you have to present or have to roll in order to move and travel on. But you also have these afterburner dice, and they will have a value on that location, and if you roll that value, you get to re-roll these afterburners. Other dice you use for travel have to be taken out of the dice pool, so you're trying to use those dice over and over again to get as high as you can on this mat, and we've gotten all the way to the top once and should have made it twice. Yeah. But I think I chickened out, didn't I?
Yeah.
I didn't want to push my luck. I made it to the next to last step, and I almost chickened out, or I did chicken out and didn't go for it. But you can, and we did make it one time up to the top. The player boards are thick cardboard. The dice are chunky. All the token stock is outstanding, thick cardboard. And you have 3, I think, modules that you can add to this game to make it a little more crunchy for you. We liked it just the base game, but we're gonna the modules are nice too to have and give the game some variety. So it does have a terrible name, Mlem, by Reiner Knizia. The art is Joanna Zepeko, but yeah, it's cats in space. I don't know why you would name the game that, but they did, and that's what it is. And it's my number 8 game of 2024, folks. It's fun. That's it. It's a fun game to play. It looks neat on the table with the play mat and all the tokens and the cat theme. You have I think 8 cat tokens on your player mat with your cat, and you are going to use those tokens. Each one of them has a different power, and you got to choose when the exploration captain or whoever is in charge of the mission is going to be in charge of that rocket and the travel and roll the dice, but you can put your cat with whatever token you want to on that rocket, and that cat token you choose will do something different, get off at the first planet or do various things as that rocket travels. So pretty cool stuff in this game. Simply going to be underrated. Rebel Studios game, by one of the best board game designers in the world. Hey, he did make some nice dice games, and this is one of them. Okay, the next game on the list is Nocturne from AEG and Flat Out Games. Illustrated by Beth Sobel, and David Iezzi is the designer of this game. First of all, I need to talk about this game in retrospect to the other games that came before it, and that's Calico, Cascadia, and Verdant. We loved all those games. They're all fine designs by these people, and they all delivered on time through Kickstarter, which who knows where...
And even early.
Yeah, who knows where Kickstarter and GameFound, all those are going to be going with all the things that are going on with tariffs that are coming up. So we don't even know if those things will exist. But Nocturne is a bidding game, and it's fascinating because it works at the 2-player count. Very few bidding games work that well at 2 players. Furnace is the only one I can think of right now that off the top of my head that works outstanding at 2-player count. But Nocturne is amazing. It's some kind of a fantasy cat world or woods creatures or whatever, which is not, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. But you're bidding on tiles, and each tile has a different way that it scores, a different set collection that you have to perform in order to get points. And then it has another central board where you lost a bid, your tokens can go down to bid on the tiles on this board, and there will be some tiles on that board that you want to get because they're extra. And you have a whole handful of bidding tokens. Their values, I think, 1 to 10, and one of them has a star on it. I mean, if you play that one, nobody can outbid you. And so that's pretty cool also. And hey, I mean, it's a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. And I want to tell you why I think so highly of this game, or one of the reasons is, you know, of those 4 games that these people have put out, we kept Calico, Verdant, and we're going to keep this one because it's different, it's bidding. And we let Cascadia go, even though that's probably, arguably, the most popular one of the bunch.
Yeah.
It just didn't have the pressure that the other 3 have. Because in Cascadia, you can build out as far as you want. In Calico and in Verdant, you have a restricted area of what you're allowed to build. And in Nocturne, that bidding pressure is there in this game. So we like pressure in board games, and those 3 offered that to us. And that's Nocturne. What a tremendous amount of fun. All right. The next game we're going to talk about is Colossal Cat in the Box. Cat in the Box, I know, came out a few years ago, but it was in a little package. Kitty, move your tail. Yeah. This is Biscuit.
She's got to see the Cat in the Box.
Yeah. She wants to talk about Cat in the Box Colossal. It came out a few years ago, and we were able to play this at a convention with a friend of ours. We loved it, and we had ordered this in advance, actually. Had never played the game, but we were anxious to play it, and so when we got to the convention, we found that opportunity. But this is a large version. This designer made this game in a large version because his mother has eyesight problems, and golly, I wish more board game publishers would think about what they're doing with the publishing of their games and small print. There's so much small print in board games. That's why this guy redid his game, so that he could make it great big for his mom, so that she could see it, and we love it. We love the fact that it's great big. Everything in it's big. I mean, the board and the little cards that you put in here are nice and big, and you can see them. I mean, it's not, you can't say enough about it. And if you haven't played Cat in the Box, it's a trick-taking game where you're going to bid how many tricks you're going to take, and then you have to name the color, because all the cards are black. Yeah, you have to name what color the trick is going to be. And oh my gosh, that doesn't sound like much, but it will twist your brain, and it takes you a while, doesn't it, to get used to how this game works. You have these great big kitty cat heads that hold your tokens. That's so cute. And you have a great big first player token, and you know, thing's awesome. This thing weighs, it's really heavy. I'm just impressed by that. Get in there. I shouldn't be playing board games.
Well, you can play them, you just can't put them back in the box.
Yeah. So anyways, wow, this game is so much fun, you guys. And again, if you want to go about it in an inexpensive fashion, get the regular edition or with a deluxe box. I think it comes in a box about that big.
Well, there's a regular and a deluxe.
Yeah, and
so
if you've got,
get whatever one you want.
If you got great eyesight and you want to go cheap, that's fine. I mean, it's same daggone game. But
there's a couple of expansions that came with this one.
But we absolutely enjoy this package that the designer put out so that people like us, senior citizens who have failing eyesight, can see the game and enjoy it as much as everybody else. And I hope more publishers think about that. I doubt it, but I would.
Well, they don't have to make colossal boxes. Just make the print bigger on the cards.
Yeah. So there we go. So that's that. Now we're going to get down to some more games. And what did I have? I think, yeah, we're going to go with the next set of games. It's called Kinfire Delve. Kinfire Delve is in the Kinfire Chronicles universe by Kevin Wilson, and Kevin did a tremendous job with that game. I'm hugely interested in Kinfire Chronicles. I didn't back it on Kickstarter. I didn't think I would like it, but then he came out with these. Okay, thank you. He came out with these games. Kinfire Delve and Vainglory's Grotto, I think, was a 23 maybe, and then one of these is a 24.
I think it's 22,
23, 24. They are 2-player games. If in each box, you can combine them for a 4-player experience if you want to. But this is a boss battler. You can get these for like $13.99, and the publishing's outstanding. Custom dice that you're going to roll. The card stock is foil for your characters. Wow. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And it adds to the immersiveness of the game. It's so much fun. And you have a boss in the middle of the table that you're going to have to defeat, and you have a card on top and bottom, left and right, and those are the challenges you're going to have to overcome with your cards. And one of the cool things about this game is you can help your teammate. So you can say, well, I've got a card, and they have a boost effect on the bottom of the card, and you can actually boost your teammates' power so that they can overcome a challenge on the table around that boss. And you have a limited number of cards to do that with, so it's a tough decision. Yeah, I can help you, but I'm running low on cards. I'm in trouble.
One in the middle is upside down.
Oh, is it? Oh, well, how'd that happen? You shouldn't have done that. Yeah, so you can help each other, which is pretty cool in this game. Even the box itself is a nice thick box for the game. I mean, just absolutely wonderful. And it's nice and refreshing to know that a publisher will pay attention to great publishing. I mean, the card stock is outstanding. The dice are custom. You even have a D10 that you're going to be using in the game. 4 D6s. The card stock, let's see if I can get to some of the character cards. Yeah, oh man, it's just so cool. Yeah, these are character decks, and you can see the foil print on them. Yeah, pretty nice. I mean, for a game that you're going to maybe pick up for $13.99, and the game design is outstanding. So it's so much fun to play. You're getting a great game in this box, and that's, worth any price. I've paid a lot of money for games that I said, yeah, I'm getting rid of this, and had to get rid of it because the game itself was not strong, and I spent a lot of money on it. So you try to get rid of those while they're hot. Oops, I dropped a couple of the point tokens. The bag wasn't sealed. But yeah, that's just such a wonderful game. I wanted to talk about it here in my 2024 Best Games Of and tell you about it so that you can pick this up inexpensively. And I'm going to try and locate Kinfire Chronicles and see what I think of that. And because I love the world that Kevin Wilson created with these 3 games, because you just keep playing them, and they keep on delivering. That's Kinfire Delve. All right. Next game I'm going to talk about is a reskin of Seven Wonders Duel. Yeah, so this is called the Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth. And Lori and I played Seven Wonders Duel back in the day, but we already had Seven Wonders. And our Seven Wonders edition, our OG, was 2 to 7 players on the box. And it had a 2-player variant in there. When you're playing 2, you control a third wonder, and you can manipulate that wonder and that player to help yourself as much as possible. And we loved that. And when we played Seven Wonders Duel, we said, this isn't as good as the 2-player variant in the OG. I mean, it's good, but it's not better. So we kept our OG, and then we always play that 2-player. But then when this came out with a new IP, we thought, hey, let's try that. And I'm glad we did, because it's fantastic. There's some different mechanics in here from the Seven Wonders Duel, and we had a fabulous time. This is obviously a 2-player only game by Antoine Bauza and Bruno Cathala, 2 outstanding board game designers, okay? Let's get that out of the way right there. So it's worth your time just because of that. These guys know what they're doing and how to make a good board game. There's several different ways you can win this game. It's open drafting just like you do in Seven Wonders Duel. You have a pyramid of cards, and you're going to have tough decisions to make, not only of why you want to take those cards, but when you're going to take them. Do you want to leave that there for your opponent? Do you want to take it and open up 2 new cards for your opponent to have a choice to choose from? I don't know. The Dark Rider is riding along this track, and if he catches Frodo and whoever those guys are, you win the game. Or if Frodo and whoever those 2 characters are get to Mount Doom and put the ring, get the ring to Mount Doom, they win the game. And then you can win an area control way up here. And then there was one other way you can win. Complete the quest of the ring, rally the sport of 6 races. So it says on the box. I just had to read it. I was holding it right at my face. Yeah, so I just wanted to read I needed to read it on the box. So there are 3 ways to win this game. And it's well balanced, because, I mean, every time you are on the precipice of winning the game in one of those 3 ways, your opponent's ready to win too. So I love that. And you're really thinking hard in this game when you're playing it to try to put together your strategy and block your opponent's strategy. But yeah, I love the IP, The Lord of the Rings. we only have one other games with the Lord of the Rings IP. It's the OG cooperative game by Reiner Knizia from 2001, which we kept all these years, and we love it. And I've tried the Lord of the Rings card game. It's okay. War of the Ring, too much plastic in the box for us. Hunt for the Ring, I don't like hidden movement. So I've just never had the IP in a game where we really enjoyed it until now. So we really enjoy Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth. All right, this game is a kind of reskinning of Everdell. This is Everdell Farshore. Now, we liked Everdell, but we didn't like it enough to buy it because the cards themselves had super small text on them, and to the point of making me mad. I mean, if those cards weren't in your face, you could not read them across the table. Just impossible. And so we just never even considered acquiring that game for our gaming library. It was just unfun because of that reason. So they reissued this edition, Everdell Farshore, increased the text size on the cards. Hey, great! And the game itself is fabulous. These ships that are going around the outside of the board and so forth. It comes with like 150 cards, so it's a engine building game. You know, you're gathering resources to exchange for cards and so forth, and your cards are going to give you chain reactions that are going to score you points. And that's the object of this game, and it works well. Farshore is outstanding. And the first time I played at a convention, I said, hey, that game's great. I love it. But they had an MSRP of $99.99. I was like, that game is not worth $100 and I'm not paying it. All last year, I waited and waited. Sure enough, it went down to $60. I said, hey, that's reasonable. So I went ahead and picked it up, and Lori and I played it and love it. You know, played it again. We played at the convention, but it's for 1 to 4 players. 40 to 80 minutes, just a lot of fun. We enjoy it. Don't we?
Yeah, I really like it. I liked Everdell, but it wasn't enjoyable because of the print.
Yeah, so just a wonderful game. My number 3 game of the year, Farshore Everdell. Everdell Farshore, I guess is called.
And
but yeah.
Is that technically a 23?
It is technically a 23. Yeah, I will say that. It's technically a 23 game, but don't always buy games when they're new, especially if there's something you disagree with, like I didn't like the price of it. So hey, I was willing to wait. If I had to pick it up in the secondhand market, I will do that because somebody's going to ditch it.
Now, Target has an edition that's even cheaper, but the components are cardboard.
Yeah,
so be aware of that.
Be careful of that. Target, and they've done this with other games. They have a reissue of this game.
They call them essential editions, I think.
And they have cheaper components, like they did with Raiders of the North Sea and Spirit Island. Mm-hmm. So if that component quality means something to you, don't buy those games from Target.
It's the same game.
Yeah, same game, but the component quality is different. Mm-hmm. So if it means something to you, don't get it at Target. Get it from your local game store, preferably if he's got a good price on it. But yeah, I mean, that was just an outrageous price, $100. Wasn't worth that. So yeah, I waited, and Farshore is my number 3 game. Number 2 game of the year is a cooperative board game, an IP that is on, I'm going to say Netflix. Well, no,
I think it's Amazon.
Amazon.
I think we decided it was Amazon Prime. Right? I think so.
This is by Dire Wolf. And Dire Wolf Games, they've had 3 hits in a row with Dune Imperium and Clank Catacombs. You know, both of those by Paul Dennen. This has a different designer, and I don't know who the designer is because it's not on the front of the box. Interesting. Yeah. This Invincible hero building game is a cooperative board game where you're going to play different episodes, and it's a bag building game that you're going to put colored cubes in that are going to give you different opportunities to fill up spaces on your player board that give you special powers. So I love that bag building game, and it has a tableau of cards you're going to build in front of you also. Yeah, so this game has 190 cards in it and 135 wooden cubes that you're going to be putting in bags, and then it has 7 episodes that you can play through, and they get harder as you go. And Lori and I have played, I think, the first 3 episodes in it. We lost the first episode more than once. We had to continue playing it until we beat it, and then we moved on and we were able to beat the next 2. But it's a fun game, and I just haven't been able to spend much more time with it. So we played this game about 5 times, but I played it at a convention, and we sat down and played it, and of course you're reading rules as you go. You're teaching yourself the games. That's the way conventions are. But we played the game, and Lori's like, I don't know about this game. I said, well, I liked it. I I know we missed things, and I know that there were some things that weren't right, but I saw enough and knew enough correctly that I'm interested in this game. So when we came home, I watched it, play it on YouTube a few times, and then I went up to my local game store, and Matthew had a great price on it at the Haven here in Castleberry, and 54 bucks, something that's fair. I want to support my local game store. 54 bucks for this game's fair price. I picked it up, brought it home, and we've played it a lot since, and I love it. That's my number 2 game of the year. You have anything you want to add about this one?
The designer is Kevin Spock.
Kevin Spock. Okay, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Kevin Spock is the designer. Hey, Kevin, nice game.
I like it now. I wasn't sure, but I like the bag building part of it. It's fun.
And the tableau building with the cards we enjoy. And you have to save civilians. And kind of cool. And this is an IP game, so this is a show. And we know nothing about the show. So you don't need to know anything about Invincible. We love the game.
It's just a superhero game to us.
Yeah,
we
superhero game.
Just don't know what superheroes are.
Yeah, one of the guys in here looks like Doctor Strange. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And it's cardboard standees. Thank you, publishers.
Yeah.
So outstanding game, Invincible. But my number 1 game of the year is a game I played early on, but nothing supplanted it, and that is the Plum Island Horror by Herman Luttman and GMT Games. Wow, we played this early, and boy, it took us a while to figure it out, and Lori actually called my attention to this game. I am not a GMT Games fan. Their games are war games. You have to be a war guy. And I'm simply not. The war doesn't interest me. I grew as a board gamer. I grew up during the Vietnam era, and to me, war is never good, and not even in a game. So I just don't like that kind of theme. It's not for me. It's for a lot of other guys, but not for me.
Yeah.
So the Plum Island Horror said, "Hey, you need GMT's making a game that looks interesting. It's got a kind of a cool theme to it." And I said, "GMT." Well, like what kind of theme? It's called the Plum Island Horror. I says, okay, so far you got me. She showed me on YouTube what it was about, and I said, hey, I'm interested in that game. This is a cooperative adventure board game. It's driven by 3 decks of cards, and those cards are going to offer you events and challenges to overcome. The search deck is one that is so interesting. It's my favorite deck of the 3 decks of cards because it just gives the game some meat and story, and I love that.
Comedy.
Yeah, comedy. Oh, there's so much comedy and humor in this, from the characters that Herman Luttman chose to use, from F Troop to,
Brady Bunch.
Yeah, Brady Bunch. I mean, there's, and the police. I use the police faction, and it's Joe Friday from Dragnet, and Drebin from that comedy series was Naked Gun. Lieutenant Drebin.
Mall Cop.
Yeah, Paul Blart, the Mall Cop. And it's littered throughout here. I appreciated
Their names are all just changed a little bit.
Yeah, I appreciated every bit of humor in this game, and it's so fascinating to me. The board is quite large, but the things I want to point out about this game, first of all, I thought they went out of their way to make this game approachable. Some GMT games are very difficult, I understand, but you have a manual here of the game, of the reference guide and a rule book. And it helps you when you read these. They introduce the game in such a way that you're going to understand how to play it when you read these. And they're quite large manuals. You can watch a playthrough on YouTube and get a pretty good idea how to play this game. But you use stacks of horrors. There's no plastic miniatures in here. Thank you, GMT Games. Everything is done with standees. And the standees are outstanding because they have all kinds of information on them. And I love that they thought of that. And that's, Herman Luttman, he's a good board game designer. And so we enjoyed this game so much, even the fact that it takes 4 hours to play it.
And it was pricey.
And it's pretty pricey.
I think it's like $70.
I always tell you when I get a cheap game, I paid $70 for this in that neighborhood. But, here's the thing. If the game is outstanding, you don't feel bad about that eventually, and it's got an expansion coming out, which I'm going to buy because it offers more cards, which gives this game more life and more variety.
Close to shorten.
Yes, close to shorten. We do employ a house rule here with this game. We take out the number 3 civilians because you have to rescue 26 points of civilians. Each civilian disc has a point total on it, 1, 2, or 3, and you have to rescue 26 points of civilians, and then you have to survive the 9 rounds. I think it's 9 rounds. Well, getting the civilians is pretty easy. We found. So we take out the 3s, and then those 2s are overwhelmingly important. You want to protect those with your life. So you are really pressed on how to win this game without those 3s in there. And it does have some VIP tokens in there, VIP civilians that give you more points when you rescue them.
But they don't always come out.
Yeah, and just, I mean, it has custom dice in here that I didn't show you. Put the lid on upside down, which will bug me. Yeah, I did. So there's a lot to love in this game, and I've talked about it in my other videos and raved about it, and Herman Luttman did a heck of a job on this game. This is going to be way up in my top 100, even though, again, it's a pretty meaty game, and it takes 4 hours to play. But we played it, and Lori and I were like, wow, that was so much fun. Look what time it is. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Just make sure you eat before you start.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Lots of player aids in here. I wish a couple of them had been on the board, and I talk about that in my 2024 games so far. And I don't know if there was much change in that video from this one, but I decided to just go ahead and get this video out of the way before Thanksgiving here. Thanksgiving's in a couple of days, and I wanted to talk about these games that I played. So yeah, this is my #1 game of the year, the Plum Island Horror. I just don't see anything supplanting this game. You know, and we looked at a ton of games. We looked at Windmill Valley, Andromeda's Edge, Harmonies, Cities by Phil Walker Harding and Steve Finn. We like those games. We like Cities, we like Harmonies.
Umbrella, Spectral.
Umbrellas, Aguado.
We picked Aguada,
Yeah.
City of Umbrellas,
City
and
of-
Umbrella.
And Umbrella was a surprise, crunchy game.
That'd probably be number 12 for me.
That was a pretty good game. If you haven't played Umbrella, not Aguado, City of Umbrellas, but Umbrella.
Yeah.
And that was a crunchy, crunchy's the wrong word. It's not a large rule set, but it is hard in your head.
It's a puzzle game. And
Yeah.
It's hard to work the
It's
puzzle.
a hard puzzle.
Yeah.
That was a surprise. That was the biggest surprise that I played this year.
We played Terrorscape.
Terrorscape, Leviathan Wilds. You know, we went to conventions and played quite a few 2024 titles, and just this is the best. We have a certain style of gaming. Cooperative games we're always attracted to, like Invincible and Plum Island Horror, and, you know, Kinfire Delve. But we like competitive games like Lord of the Rings Duel and Everdell Farshore. Those are competitive, and we enjoy those too. But we don't like games that get too complex. And when it came to Andromeda's Edge, I think that was just a little bit... I'm not smart enough to play that game.
We looked at Weirwood Manor too.
Weirwood Manor.
Same thing, too much.
Yeah,
I
just some games
game.
we're just at a point in our life where we're not that smart anymore. And Andromeda's Edge just is over the top for me. I have no interest in playing it, and any other games that are that difficult.
What was 2024?
Apiary was 23, I think. Okay. We played Apiary and we liked that game.
I did like that one.
Yeah, that's a good game. Arcs was one we looked at, and that is just not our type of. You know, Root and Arcs, same people. They lots of fighting, and we don't really care for those kinds of games, so it's not for us. But these are the best that we played this year. I wanted to present them to you and tell you about them. And I love this game. And for my birthday, I managed to track down a copy of Dawn of the Zed. It's going to be here the day before Thanksgiving, and Lori's going to wrap it up. My birthday's on Thanksgiving, so I get to open that on Thanksgiving Day in front of my family over at their house, and I can't wait because I'm in love here. I'm in love.
It's the same designer.
Same designer, Herman Luttman, and I'm in love with this game. And I hope I have the same kind of affection for Dawn of the Zeds. But hey, Herman Luttman, congratulations. You get the Bones Collector Award for Game of the Year. You're my guy, and this is my game. And thank you very much for this. And that is the Bones Collector video for today. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Get your friends to subscribe. That would really help us out. Hey, we love every one of you. We are hobby gamers. I don't monetize this channel. I don't receive copies of games from publishers. We just seek out board games that we think we're going to like. We play them. Sometimes we play them and realize, no, we can't talk about this on our channel. We don't like that game. Yeah. Or we will decide this is a great game. Let's tell everybody about it. And that's what happens on this channel. We'll see you the next time on the Bones Collector.
Ask for comments.
Yeah. Oh, please comment on the video. What do you think? Have you played these games?
And 2024 games that they like.
Yeah. And comment on these games. If you've played them, what do you think of them? And did we miss some that you really enjoy for 2024? And please keep on board gaming. It's the best hobby on the planet because because of some of these games I talked about today. Please give them a try before you buy if you can. That's always a good idea. And don't take my word for fun. You develop your own meaning of fun. And I'll see you the next time here on The Bones Collector. I love you. Bye-bye.